Great Salt Lake is becoming a major source of greenhouse gas emissions, scientists say. So what does this mean for Utahns across the Wasatch Front and beyond?
So to find out, ABC4's Jonathan May spoke with professors and scientists. He joins us live there from the Great Salt Lake. Jonathan, what do they have to say today?
Well, Brian, Sarah, scientists who have been researching this lake for years are keeping an eye on the spots that are no longer underwater, saying an exposed lake can lead to more sources for greenhouse gases.
These are overhead photos from NASA. On the right is the Great Salt Lake in 1985. On the left, one of their latest from 2022.
We sometimes think of the collapse of Great Salt Lake as something that's going to happen in the future, but actually we're living through the ongoing collapse of the lake. Each foot lower that it gets, we have more negative consequences.
Researchers believe if the lake dried up by 2030, exposed sediments would set off 7.1 million tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. That's estimated at a 12% increase to the state of Utah's emissions. Ben Abbott, an assistant professor of ecosystem ecology at BYU, explains why this happens.
When they dry out, the organic matter in the sediment can start to decompose, and that can release greenhouse gases. And so it's not completely a surprise, but this is the first time that we've understood the magnitude of the carbon dioxide release from the lake bed.
Canada's Royal Ontario Museum published a new study on this Thursday in the journal One Earth. One scientist led the research while as an assistant professor at Utah State University.
With Great Salt Lake, it's a terminal lake, so everything that's been washing into it for over 10,000 years has just settled in on that lake bottom.
Settled at the bottom, where there's no oxygen for bacteria. But once the lake is exposed to the air, that changes.
There's lots of oxygen. You kind of think of it as a buffet for bacteria, and just as we do when we eat, we respire and breathe out carbon dioxide. Microbes do the same thing.
USU scientists measured emissions from exposed sediments from April to November in 2020. They found the lake bed released 4.1 million tons of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere.
It's about 7% of the state of Utah's greenhouse gas emissions from burning of fossil fuels. So it's not massive, but it's huge at that local scale.
These ecosystems are big, they are powerful, and when we harm them, what we've learned is it always comes back and harms our society.
Abbott calls the drying lake human-caused by water overuse, but he thinks since we are the problem, we can be the solution.
We think as well about upcoming things like the Olympics. Right? When the world comes back to Utah in 2034, are they going to find a beautiful, restored, healthy saline lake, the largest in the Western Hemisphere? Or are they going to find salty puddles?
Abbott says it's estimated that we need to consume a third to a half less water than we have in past in order to help save the lake. Now, he says it'll take everyone being on the same page and teaming up and doing it together. And if not, he says we could risk losing this lake. Reporting live from the Great Salt Lake, Jonathan May, ABC4 News.